What if the quality they overlooked in you was actually the reason you were chosen? They saw your gentleness as a constraint. They believed that your calm demeanor indicated that you were not built to withstand pressure, and that your vulnerability suggested that you would crumble under the strain. However, they misunderstood your intentions. What was inserted into you was never a source of weakness. It was a controlled force. He granted you restraint not because you lacked power, but because you possessed enough to wisely manage what others would abuse. He was establishing your discipline before any disclosure. He was fortifying your foundation before your voice was heard. Your journey has been completely intentional. The Bible teaches us that it is preferable to be a patient person than a warrior, and to have self-control rather than conquer a city. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 32. The power you have accumulated in silence is greater than what others demonstrate through noise. My dearest, you have been guarding a rare treasure that the world has yet to comprehend. It's referred to as kindness. It's referred to as softness. However, they cannot see the depth beneath it. They are unable to detect the quiet fire within you that is constant, present, and unshakable. This is where this story begins, as the world frequently fails to recognize the source of true strength, a reality that they cannot comprehend. Individuals who choose peace are frequently those with the strongest motivation to engage in conflict. When you could have exposed deception in a single moment, you chose not to speak. You were treated disrespectfully without any repercussions. You avoided engaging in conflicts that your spirit could have easily resolved, but they mistook your calmness for vulnerability. However, this should be heard clearly. Your silence has never led to surrender. Discipline has been implemented. It has served as a safeguard. It has been in accordance with a force far more powerful than pride. According to James, chapter 3, verse 17, the wisdom from above is first pure, then comes peace, gentleness, openness to reason, mercy, and good fruit. Even though no one understood it, that is the spirit with which you have been operating. You were created to love, but not just in quiet ways. There is also a strength within you that emerges when justice is violated, truth is distorted, or something sacred is mishandled. The fire you're feeling isn't just anger without purpose. It is the reawakening of purpose. Be resolute and courageous as it is stated. There is no need to be afraid because the Lord is with you. Deuteronomy chapter 31, verse 6. You have the courage that is steadfast and prepared. You're not straightforward. It was never intended that you be reduced to a single characteristic or role. You have both authority and gentleness, compassion and clarity. You are a living paradox, with a spirit that defies darkness and a compassionate heart. And the world isn't always sure how to interpret that. It anticipates that love will be passive, while strength will be audible. When you embody both, you disrupt expectations. Individuals witness your composure, but they fail to recognize the inner discipline that allowed you to retain it. They are unaware of the numerous occasions in which you chose grace over a reaction. According to Proverbs chapter 15, verse 1, a gentle response can deter wrath. And you have experienced that truth, even when it resulted in a personal cost. Your spirit could sometimes discern things that others couldn't. Moments when you felt tense for no apparent reason but chose to remain calm. It was never intended that you demonstrate your authority to anyone. It was designed for you to transport it quietly and securely. Consider how your mere presence altered the ambiance of a room. Despite the lack of words and effort, a transformation happened. It was not an accident. It was a matter of alignment. That spirit was grounded in reality. Furthermore, when you speak, something more profound occurs. Your words do not stem from wounded pride. They come from a place of conviction and clarity, one that values restoration over destruction. Please know that the Lord will defend you. You are only required to be silent, as stated in Exodus chapter 14, verse 14. You've lived in that silence, certain that your presence isn't required in every conflict. You do, in fact, experience profound emotions. Indeed, you long for peace. Indeed, you want to be understood. However, when darkness falls and noise becomes louder, you do not crumble. A spark has ignited within you. Not to demolish, but to reinstate order. Instead of dominating, realign what has gone astray. And this is the most concerning aspect for people. They aren't confused by your gentleness. Strength is its foundation. They are unable to predict, control, or clearly define a strength. You have been undervalued for a long time, not due to a lack of strength, but because you chose to encase that strength in compassion. You learned to navigate a world that frequently rewards noise with gentleness, as well as to respond with grace when others expected a reaction. Many people assumed you were unprotected because you wore kindness as armor. However, armor was never designed to be a decorative item. It was designed to withstand pressure while protecting a powerful entity beneath. And the fire within you, which you did not choose but rather inherited, was never a flaw. This was a summons. It's time to stop apologizing for the warmth, intensity, and truth that it represents. It's possible you've noticed a pattern. The same people who are drawn to your serenity are frequently the ones who put it to the test. They test the limits. They elicit responses. They anticipate that you will eventually lose control. However, they are unaware that you have never been afraid of confrontation. You simply refuse to waste your energy on pointless battles. According to Scripture, for God gave us a spirit that is not a spirit of fear, but one of power, love, and self-control. 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. Even when others were unable to recognize it, you maintained that equilibrium. This was never about responding to every offense or making a point. Standing firm when the truth is at stake has always been the goal. There is a difference between protecting one's ego and respecting one's alignment. You were never meant to diminish yourself in order to accommodate others or blend into the background. You were created to transform environments, provide clarity in the face of ambiguity, and stand firm even when your voice shakes. Storms are kept at bay by the quiet fortitude you have. You have learned to maintain intensity without releasing it carelessly. However, there are some situations where restraint is no longer necessary. There is a season for everything, a time to be silent and a time to speak. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verses 1 to 7. You're currently entering that season with the goal of becoming more authentic, not louder. To avoid silencing oneself rather than dominating others. It is unnecessary to raise one's voice in order to be heard. There is already a voice in your vicinity. You entered rooms where the atmosphere had changed without explanation. Conversations underwent changes. Energy has been adjusted. Individuals experienced an emotion that they were unable to identify. It was not an accident. It was the weight of the items you were carrying. A spirit in alignment with the truth has the ability to reveal what is hidden. For there is nothing hidden that cannot be revealed. Luke chapter 8, verse 17. And as you maintain that alignment, even in silence, things begin to emerge. You have personally witnessed it. The way people react when you don't agree just to keep the peace. They become uneasy when you speak clearly rather than hesitantly. They are not bothered by your demeanor. It's a manifestation of your presence. However, you were never meant to compromise the truth in order to make people feel comfortable. You intended to bring light into areas that had grown accustomed to the presence of shadows. This is the effect of spiritual fire. Powerful does not imply loudness. It exists in its entirety, while the environment around it transforms. You are not present to inflict destruction. You're present to remind, realign, and restore. The light continues to shine in the darkness, and it has yet to be vanquished. John, chapter 1, verse 5. That light is an essential part of your identity. If you've felt pressure in your life, it's not unjustified. You have an item that cannot be replicated or manufactured. It cannot be acquired through effort or borrowing from others. It is located inside you. This is the reason you are being tested. That is why your tranquility is being tested. What you carry is important, and not because you are weak. Emptiness is not crushed under pressure. It is necessary to improve what is valuable. You have lived on the verge of liberation, enduring more than most people will ever have to. It is not due to your instability, but to your awareness. You understand the importance of your words and the consequences of your actions. You have consistently opted for peace. However, you are currently being summoned to participate in a more profound endeavor. Not away from tranquility, but towards the truth. Sometimes the truth is accompanied by a level of heat. This is easily understandable. Harshness is not required for strength. Bitterness is not necessary for boldness. Power does not necessitate being difficult. So, be honest in a loving manner. That is the equilibrium you were supposed to maintain. To maintain a firm stance while also demonstrating empathy. For the sake of clarity, without compromising elegance. The truth will sometimes feel isolating. Moments when you are misunderstood or excluded by others because you refuse to conform to their expectations. However, this is not the same as rejection in the way you might have expected. This is the process of refinement. This is separation for a purpose. It was never meant to be concealed, and what you carry cannot be diluted. You have not lost connection. You're currently being positioned. You are not being forcibly removed. You are being distinguished. It is impossible to reduce, reshape, or shrink the items you carry in order to meet the expectations of others. It does not seek approval or compromise itself in order to gain acceptance. It is sacred, and sacred things are frequently misunderstood before they are acknowledged. That is part of the process, not a flaw in your journey. Do not give sacred items to dogs, nor should you cast your pearls before pigs. Matthew, chapter 7, verse 6. There are aspects of yourself that were never meant to be taken lightly or explained to those who are unable to recognize their worth. There was a time when you chose silence, not because you had nothing to say, but because the occasion had not yet arrived. Others were unaware that you were learning, listening, and being influenced. Your voice was not lost. It was in the process of being refined. There is currently an internal transformation taking place. The hesitancy is decreasing. The requirement to provide an excessive amount of detail is losing its hold. You're realizing that your presence isn't negotiable. It is unnecessary to suppress your emotions in order to provide comfort for others. It is unnecessary to compromise your authenticity in order to gain acceptance. Your emotions are significant. The weight of your belongings is significant. The mouth speaks out of the abundance of the heart. Matthew chapter 12, verse 34. When your words come from a genuine source, they require no defense or embellishment. They are independent. A version of yourself that is both gentle and tenacious is emerging. So, this version does not seek validation or smooth out its edges to avoid discomfort. It moves with precision, anchored in a foundation that goes beyond mere opinion. It does not need to be understood. It simply resides in harmony. The righteous are as courageous as lions. Proverbs chapter 28, verse 1. Not forceful or loud, but certain. The fire that exists within you was never meant to be hidden. The intention was to refine, reveal, and eliminate everything that was no longer appropriate. Allow it to consume the fear that has previously kept you from speaking. Allow it to absorb the idea that kindness necessitates invisibility. There was no truth to that. You were not meant to be diminutive or easily overlooked. Your creation was intended to bring peace to regions that are resistant to it, clarity to areas where confusion has taken root, and a presence so strong that even opposition cannot hold it. It is unnecessary for you to adopt a new identity. You are recollecting your original identity. We appreciate your persistence in reading this message. If these words resonated with you, if you felt a quiet confirmation in your spirit that you are no longer meant to hide or withhold, please take a moment to write Amen in the comments. Make it a clear declaration that you are entering the realm of truth with no apologies. Please forward this message to someone you know who has been limiting their personal space or stifling their voice in order to maintain peace. It could be the reminder their spirit has been looking for, the clarity they have been unable to express. Stay connected so that we can continue on this journey together, gaining strength, clarity, and alignment. Keep this with you today. You're not assuming a new identity. The identity you have always had is being revealed. The truth, fire, and strength have always existed. You're now allowing it to be observed. Welcome to the Anointed Ones. Age is simply the number of years that the world has been privileged to witness your brilliance. However, there's a catch. The chosen one's brilliance is not only visible, but also radiant. Have you ever wondered why people frequently underestimate your age and assume you are many years younger? Science may talk about the importance of healthy lifestyles or good genes, but the true nature of the problem is far more profound than skincare regimens or morning smoothies. You have a youthful energy that defies the passage of time, which can be perplexing for others. The most amusing aspect is that they see your youthful appearance and upbeat demeanor and conclude, "Oh, this person is easy to manipulate. I made a big mistake." They are unaware that beneath that youthful glow lies a soul that is older than their most ambitious plans. Today, we will look at the benefits and drawbacks of appearing younger than one's age, as well as how those who try to manipulate you because of this trait frequently regret their underestimation. Buckle up, because this isn't just about appearance. It's about power that they can't understand or control. In the first position, your inner peace radiates outward. The rationale selected. The foundation of an individual's youthful appearance is a concept that few people truly understand: inner peace. Most people are burdened by emotional baggage, resentment, and stress, which act as barriers to their progress. It is visible in their energy, bodies, and faces as time passes. However, those chosen are distinct. You have mastered the art of remaining calm in a society that thrives on disorder. This serenity does not stem solely from maintaining composure during times of ease. It is about staying on track, even in the face of adversity. Inner peace gives off an unmistakable glow that no amount of makeup, surgery, or expensive products can replicate. It is not about avoiding problems. Rather, it is about learning how to manage them without allowing them to dominate one's life. Initially, those attempting to manipulate you are unaware of this. They mistake your youthful energy for naivete. They believe that this person lacks the necessary knowledge of life to recognize my manipulation. They are unaware that your tranquil exterior is a fortress built on self-awareness and wisdom. The irony is that their attempts to disrupt your equilibrium only highlight your invulnerability. Also, you are unconcerned as they fumble, projecting their insecurities and frustrations on you. People are perplexed by the rarity of that kind of peace. They don't understand how someone can maintain such a youthful appearance while facing the same life challenges as the rest of us. Your inner peace acts as a protective barrier that outperforms any anti-aging serum currently available. While they age through negativity and drama, you continue to radiate light and vitality. Life presents challenges, but you have overcome them, as evidenced by your demeanor, youthful, composed, and impervious. Second, you are not burdened with societal drama. The fact that you have chosen to escape the never-ending cycle of societal drama is one of the primary reasons the chosen ones appear younger than their true age. Shao? While the rest of the world is preoccupied with conformity, climbing imaginary ladders, and proving one's worth to indifferent people, you have distanced yourself from all of this. That decision alone takes years off your appearance, energy, and spirit. Consider the lifestyles of the majority of people. They spend their time gossiping, comparing themselves to others, following trends, and worrying about things that have no long-term consequences. The constant pressure has left them physically and emotionally exhausted. Nonetheless, you managed to avoid that deception. You avoid frivolous competitions and unnecessary conflicts. You are not interested in assuming a specific identity. You are not seeking approval from people who do not see your worth. This decision to live your life on your own terms keeps you in good spirits. You carry less emotional weight because you understand what is truly important, which cannot be found in the superficial opinions of others. This sense of liberation affects not only your emotional state, but also your physical appearance. While others are prematurely aging as a result of the pressure to maintain their appearances, you remain radiant because your life is not governed by the expectations of others. People frequently assume that your youthful appearance indicates a carefree lifestyle. However, this is completely incorrect. In reality, you have chosen tranquility over disorder. You have refrained from allowing the world's noise to influence your decisions, and this decision has been critical to your success. They may have thought they could manipulate or overwhelm you, but they failed to recognize that you have already developed the ability to withdraw from situations that hinder your personal development. Number 3. They underestimate the speed with which you recover. This is one of the reasons you appear much younger than your actual age, as the chosen ones have a unique ability to heal faster than the majority of people. You recover faster than those around you, whether the injury is physical, emotional, or mental. This isn't just due to luck or genetics. It is due to your approach to life and how you deal with adversity. You do not allow pain to persist or establish itself in your soul. Rather, you analyze it, absorb the knowledge it contains, and then release it. The majority of people live with their pain for years and, in some cases, a lifetime. You've mastered the art of letting go of what no longer serves you, but they carry bitterness, resentment, and regret, which shows in their faces and posture. You understand that the spirit and ultimately the body are aging as a result of the negativity that has been retained. This does not imply that you are devoid of deep emotions. You are aware of every emotion, but you refuse to let it consume you. Others struggle to understand how quickly this healing process occurs. They watch you face challenges and predict that you will eventually fail. They are frequently left perplexed and frustrated when you return, shining even brighter than before. They cannot understand how a person can survive storms and appear unaffected by the chaos. It is true that your resilience comes from a higher source. You have developed the ability to turn setbacks into stepping stones and pain into strength. The ability to regenerate on a physical, mental, and emotional level ensures that you remain youthful in ways that most people do not understand. The people who try to undermine you are unaware that you have already begun the process of rebuilding, becoming more radiant and stronger than ever. Number 4, you have a divine aura. The rationale selected. Individuals frequently appear younger than their actual age because they possess a divine glow that transcends the physical realm. There is no way to buy or recreate this glow. It stems from your deep spiritual alignment and connection with the higher realms. Although most people prioritize external beauty, they rely on products, filters, or surgery to maintain their appearance. However, your vitality comes from within. It is the type of energy that science cannot fully comprehend and cannot be reduced to genetics alone. As you achieve spiritual alignment, your inner light begins to shine through your actions. Your smile exudes peace, your eyes contain wisdom, and your mere presence uplifts those around you. This alignment ensures that you stay focused regardless of life's challenges. Although others are burdened by their attachments to the material world, you have discovered something eternal, a higher purpose, a divine connection, and the realization that life is more than a series of appearances. People are perplexed by this brightness. They see your youthful appearance and mistake it for good fortune or favorable circumstances, never realizing the spiritual effort that has gone into its development. They are unaware that your radiance comes from letting go of negativity, forgiving those who have wronged you, and remaining aligned with your higher purpose. Those who underestimate you frequently mistake your radiant appearance for inexperience or weakness. However, they are not correct. They cannot see the depth of your strength, the spiritual battles you have fought, or the divine energy you have developed along the way. Your glow is more than just a sign of youth. It reflects your unwavering dedication to a force beyond this world, as well as your resilience and sense of purpose. It is the reason they cannot understand you and will never dim your light. Number 5. Stress doesn't stick to you. One of the most important factors contributing to your youthful appearance is that stress does not stick to those who have been chosen. You have mastered the art of transforming the energies of negativity, drama, and unresolved emotions into something transformative, whereas others are overwhelmed by them. For most people, stress acts as a slow poison. Mentally, emotionally, and physically, it ages them. However, for you, it is only a source of energy for growth. You avoid allowing stress to enter your body or spirit. Rather than internalizing chaos, you confront it and find a way to transform it into strength or wisdom. This ability to manage and relieve stress is more than just a mindset. It is a survival skill that allows you to thrive in situations where others may fail. They tried to oppress you in order to see you collapse under the weight of the pressure. However, you have overcome it, becoming even more radiant and resilient than before, leaving them perplexed and irritated. Stress does not define you because you do not cling to things beyond your control. You've learned to let go of what doesn't benefit you and focus on what is truly important. This reduces the negative effects of chronic stress on your body, energy, and mind. Not that you are not faced with challenges. You simply refuse to let them establish a foothold in your life. Others are perplexed by this determination. They don't understand how someone who has been through so much can still be so energetic. They mistake your strength for luck or simplicity, not realizing that it is the result of a deliberate, conscious effort to rise above the fray. Your ability to transform stress into growth is more than just a survival strategy. It is the key to your lasting presence, both internally and externally. Sixth, you are a chosen fortress that protects your energy. A person's energy is guarded like a fortress, which is one of the most important secrets to their youthful vitality. You understand a concept that is often overlooked. Energy is the foundation of all things. You've mastered the art of preservation, whereas others freely give theirs away to anyone and everything, including arguments, minor disagreements, and toxic relationships. You don't let anyone enter your domain without permission, and you certainly don't let their negativity infiltrate your life. Energy leeches and manipulators frequently seek out your light, mistaking it for an easy source of energy to extract. They believe that your kindness, grace, or calm demeanor make you an easy target. However, when they try to drain you, they are met with unexpected, unyielding boundaries. These boundaries are not walls built out of fear. Rather, they are gates of discernment that meticulously protect the things you have worked so hard to preserve, such as your peace, strength, and essence. This protection is not about isolation, but about intention. You understand who is entitled to your energy and who is not. You've learned that not everyone deserves your time or presence, especially those who cause chaos. This discipline keeps you light, vibrant, and unburdened, whereas those who fail to conserve their energy become exhausted and depleted. Those who initially underestimated you quickly realize their error. They thought their games would help them drain you, but they are now unable to do so and must manage their own chaos. Your energy is unwavering, and your radiance never fades. This mastery of self-preservation is more than a choice. It is a necessity that allows you to maintain your vitality while the world around you fights battles you have already won. This is the reason you appear impenetrable, which you are in many ways. Seventh, you are proficient in the art of detachment. You have mastered the art of detachment, a skill that few have but many admire, which is why the chosen ones do not age prematurely. You have the courage to let go of anything that is no longer beneficial to your growth, as opposed to those who are fixated on outdated beliefs, toxic relationships, or the approval of others. This ability is not the result of apathy or coldness. Rather, it is a profound understanding that the soul and body will age more quickly if one refuses to let go of the things that burden them. People see your departure from situations that they would have agonized over for years as a sign of weakness or indifference. They fail to recognize that giving up what is no longer in line with one's goals requires a high level of self-awareness and courage. You've discovered that emotional baggage manifests not only in the mind, but also in the body, face, and energy. You keep a sense of lightness, both physically and spiritually, by removing unnecessary obligations. Detachment is your superpower, as it keeps you focused on what is truly important. You don't waste time trying to influence outcomes or persuade others to see your worth. You will not hesitate to leave a situation or person that tries to drain your energy or entice you into chaos. This not only protects your tranquility, but also your vitality. Those who tried to manipulate or provoke you frequently mistook your detached demeanor for passiveness. They quickly realized that your ability to relinquish control is one of your most valuable assets. You don't hold grudges or dwell on negativity. Instead, you let them go and move on, allowing others to deal with their own problems. One of the reasons you remain timeless, unbothered, and radiant is that your detachment is not a lack of concern. Rather, it is the highest form of self-esteem. Number 8. You understand timeless truths. The chosen ones possess the quality of agelessness because they align with timeless truths. You operate on a completely different level than the vast majority of people who are swayed by the fleeting nature of trends, societal norms, and outside validation. You are exempt from traditional time constraints because of your connection to universal laws, which are the unchanging principles that govern energy, balance, and purpose. This alignment with eternal wisdom is reflected in your demeanor, presence, and, yes, appearance. You understand that life is not a race against the clock, but rather a flow that must be navigated purposefully and gracefully. This awareness keeps you from overthinking the factors that cause others to age prematurely, such as the anxiety of keeping up, the fear of missing out, and the pressure to conform. Rather, you navigate life with peace and clarity, anchored by timeless truths. People are frequently perplexed by this deep bond. They don't understand how you appear to have knowledge that is beyond their comprehension. Your decisions, perspective, and ability to remain calm in the face of chaos challenge their understanding of reality. You are fully present, a state of being that exudes vitality, whereas they are stuck in the past or consumed by the future. Individuals who attempt to confine or diminish your vitality through their limited perspectives are consistently unsuccessful. They don't understand that your energy isn't limited to the physical world, but rather comes from a much deeper source. You defy the constraints of time by adhering to principles that transcend it. This knowledge not only keeps you young, but it also gives you a sense of invincibility. They may not understand it, but they cannot refute it. You are in harmony with an eternal force, and this is obvious. Number 9. They mistook your kindness for simplicity. Others frequently underestimate you because of the youthful glow that certain people exude. They mistake your unassuming appearance for simplicity or inexperience, and your kindness is associated with naivety. This is a common misconception. People often associate youthful energy with gullibility, implying that you are easily swayed or unaware of the complexities of life. However, this couldn't be more incorrect. They are unaware that your generosity is not a sign of vulnerability. 5. It is a deliberate decision based on a deep understanding of the world and a strong sense of fortitude. You've observed enough to realize that bitterness and cruelty only age the soul, whereas kindness and compassion keep you young and radiant. Your youthful aura is an outward reflection of someone who has mastered the art of navigating life without becoming hardened by it. Those who attempted to capitalize on this perception were surprised to encounter your discernment. You can easily discern manipulation and empty flattery, identifying intentions before they are established. It's not that you're cynical. It is that you have learned to trust your instincts and observe closely. People who mistake you for someone they can exploit are frequently surprised when their plans fail, as they are met with a quiet yet resolute strength that they did not expect. Your camouflage is your youthful kindness, a way to navigate the world without revealing too much at once. It perplexes those who believe you are a simple target, only to discover too late that you are ahead of their plans. A reminder that appearances can be deceiving, especially when it comes to a chosen one, lies beneath that warm exterior, with wisdom sharper than their strategies. 10. You refuse to participate in the harmful pursuit of validation. The chosen ones refrain from seeking external validation. This is one of the reasons you have such a youthful and vibrant appearance. In a society where the majority of people spend their time trying to gain approval from others through likes, comments, or social status, you've come to realize that genuine self-worth isn't derived from the opinions of others. Instead, you cultivate your sense of self from within, relying on your own understanding of your identity and purpose for guidance. This internal foundation keeps you grounded and resistant to the burnout and bitterness that often accompany the relentless pursuit of external validation. Your confidence, which is frequently misinterpreted as arrogance, stems from a deep sense of self-awareness. Individuals who are stuck in the cycle of seeking approval see your independence as a threat. They misinterpret your calm assurance as a sign of superiority, because they cannot understand how someone can be so secure without seeking validation from the world. Your quiet confidence appears foreign to them, as if it is a concept they don't fully grasp. As a result, they refer to it as arrogance instead of self-assurance. However, you do not need the approval or acknowledgement of others to feel fulfilled. You have grown your self-esteem from within, so you are immune to the stress and frustration that come with the never-ending pursuit of validation. This liberation is what keeps you young and vibrant, because you are no longer bound by the never-ending cycle of comparison and approval-seeking. You are timeless because you have chosen to be yourself, regardless of the audience, whereas others age prematurely by trying to fit into molds that do not suit them. Your self-assurance stems directly from your profound inner tranquility, which is irreplaceable. You are constantly changing. Chosen individuals are constantly evolving, and this continuous development is what keeps them young, alert, and ready for the future. Although the majority of people age quickly due to their resistance to change, they still cling to the familiar, outdated comfort zones or old ways of thinking. However, you welcome transformation with open arms. You understand that life is a journey, not a destination, and that the only way to stay relevant and ahead of the curve is to constantly evolve. Instead of fleeing or avoiding difficulties, you embrace them. You understand that each setback or obstacle provides an opportunity for you to grow and rejuvenate in ways that others cannot understand. This adaptability allows you to maintain high levels of mental, emotional, and physical alertness. You are constantly learning, adapting, and reshaping yourself to meet the demands of life, whereas others become trapped in self-limiting beliefs or rigid routines. This evolution is not only about survival, but also about flourishing. It is the reason you remain vibrant over time. Your ability to transform at all levels keeps you in tune with the universe's ever-changing flow. You've learned to let go of what no longer serves you, allowing you to enter new life stages with enthusiasm and purpose. Those who try to define or categorize you often become irritated. They expect you to remain the same person you were yesterday. However, they fail to recognize that the version of you from yesterday has already changed. You are consistently ahead of the curve because you are confident in adapting to new situations. You accept it as an essential part of your existence. This perpetual renewal, this forward momentum, serves as the foundation for your timeless quality. This is why you appear to defy the aging process. You are never at rest. You are eternally youthful because of the energy that drives you to constantly grow and move. 12 is the number. You are able to direct the divine's eternal energy. The chosen ones, deep spiritual practices connect them to a divine energy that keeps them young, allowing them to tap into an endless source of vitality. While most people exhaust themselves in the daily grind, seeking fulfillment from outside sources, you get your energy from a much deeper source, your connection to the divine. Through creative expression, meditation, or prayer, you can tap into an infinite source of life force that renews you on all levels, including your mind, body, and spirit. This connection does more than simply sustain you. It imbues you with a luminosity that others see but cannot understand. Your glow is not caused by superficial beauty routines or quick fixes. It is the result of the sacred energy within you, which is older than time itself. This divine force renews your spirit on a daily basis, keeping you youthful and vibrant in a way that defies the passage of time. People frequently envy your radiant glow, as you appear to exude vitality that others must work hard to achieve. However, they fail to recognize that this glow cannot be purchased or replicated. It is the result of your connection with a much more powerful entity. Your practices keep you aligned with the universe's sacred rhythms, ensuring that your energy is timeless, pure, and powerful. Your apparent resistance to fatigue, stress, and the aging process, which others regard as a rare and enviable trait, is actually a byproduct of your constant communion with the divine. Those who are spiritually attuned can recognize your energy as sacred, even if they are unable to articulate why. You are not only utilizing a limited reservoir. You are channeling the divine's timeless energy, a force that ensures your eternal vitality and sustains you. 13. You reflect their insecurities. Your youthful energy, chosen ones, does not come solely from your physical appearance. It is a reflection of a much deeper reality. It reflects others' unresolved insecurities, particularly those who have allowed the weight of life's struggles to prematurely age them both physically and spiritually. Individuals projecting their frustrations onto you does not reflect your character. It refers to their dissatisfaction with their personal lives. They notice your boundless energy, vitality, and ability to keep a youthful appearance. However, rather than being motivated, they seek to undermine you. However, the facts are as follows. They are attempting to dim your light because they are not aligned with their own potential, not with yours. They are caught up in their own unresolved insecurities and pain. And when they look at you, they see a version of themselves that they have ignored, a version of themselves that could still be youthful, vibrant, and alive if they only knew how to use their own power. The more mature you become, the more they struggle with the image you project. They are reminded of what they have lost or abandoned, and instead of making an effort to reclaim their own energy, they try to bring you down. However, you, the chosen ones, are steadfast. You are not responsible for their discomfort or failure to develop. In essence, you act as a mirror, reflecting back to them aspects of themselves that they have yet to notice or have long forgotten. Allow them to develop their ideas. Allow them to draw their own conclusions. However, keep in mind that your energy is solely yours, and no one can deprive you of it unless you consent. Continue to radiate, as your luminosity demonstrates your alignment with your authentic self, a state of being that they may only wish to reclaim. Your youthfulness, chosen ones, is not a coincidence. It is the result of a deep connection to forces far more powerful than the ordinary. You have unlocked a way of life that transcends time, so you are not bound by the constraints that others face. So, while most people are consumed by the pressures of aging, chasing fleeting trends, or exhausting themselves in search of external validation, you are on a journey of eternal growth, transformation, and spiritual alignment. Your vitality is not superficial. It is constantly replenished by your connection to divine energy and timeless truths that flow from the depths of your soul. People may try to categorize you, misjudge you, or profit from their misconceptions about your kindness and ease. However, they will never truly understand the source of your strength. The deciding factor is your ability to evolve, detach, and protect your energy, not your physical appearance or external circumstances. You reject the harmful pursuit of validation, preferring to stay grounded in your own self-worth. You are constantly changing, striving for greater understanding and directing divine energy in a way that keeps you vigorous, vital, and forward-thinking. So, when others question your apparent ability to defy the passage of time, remember that you have entered a realm that they cannot perceive or comprehend. Your divine glow is undeniable, And the more they try to dim it with their limited perspectives, the more you rise, emitting an even brighter light. You were never meant to conform to the limitations of time or age. They have no ability to confine you. Chosen ones, you are and will always be a testament to the power of living in accordance with your highest self. This is how you remain eternally young, vital, and unstoppable. If this message spoke to you, if you have experienced the power of being a chosen one, don't let this opportunity pass. By subscribing to this channel, you will join a community of people who share a common vision of greatness, are constantly evolving, and recognize that true vitality resides within. This is just the beginning. Additional insights, wisdom, and divine truths await your revelation. So click the subscribe button, activate the notification bell, and join us on this extraordinary journey. You were chosen for a specific purpose, and now it is time to exercise your full authority. Stay up to date on upcoming developments. Maintain your connection, your status, and continue to grow. May you be blessed. Please pay close attention to my voice right now, chosen one. Avoid allowing your mind to wander. There's a reason you feel like your blessings are evaporating as quickly as they're coming in, like you have a spiritual hole in your pocket. God revealed to me the precise moment at which this breach occurs. It's not arbitrary. It corresponds with the first 72 hours of the month. The Sovereign has set February 1st, 2nd, and 3rd as the days of divine audit. Heaven is examining your foundation while the rest of the world considers this to be just another weekend. If you ignore these specific dates, the adversary may be able to steal your momentum for the entire year. However, the breach can be permanently sealed by following the protocol I'm about to describe. Kindly refrain from browsing. Now the investigation begins. This video wasn't discovered by chance. Your presence here is not due to a random click or a YouTube algorithm. You are here because the Holy Spirit led you through a slew of distractions to this particular message at this specific time. Observe your current location. Perhaps you are currently in your vehicle, staring at the steering wheel, perplexed as to why you feel heaviness. It is possible that you are currently unable to fall asleep because your spirit is restless as you lie in bed, staring at the ceiling. Anxiety is not the source of the restlessness, it is an alert. Your spirit is aware of a concept that your mind has yet to understand. It recognizes that a change is taking place in the atmosphere, and you are currently in the midst of a significant spiritual transition. God is working to protect your 2026 from the same thief who stole your 2025. I need your decision before proceeding. The adversary is relying on your ignorance. He expects you to regard the following minutes as mere entertainment. However, I want to inform you that the information I'm about to reveal contains the encryption keys that will secure your fate for the next 12 months. By clicking away at this point, you are not only leaving the video, but also leaving the breach open. By the end of this broadcast, you will have a detailed plan for the days of February 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. You will have spiritual legal authority to close the door on the devourer. Please do not depart until the seal has been established. This is the moment you've been waiting for, so please stay with me until the very end. We will now look into the diagnosis. For a brief period, I'd like you to be honest with yourself. Consider the last few months. Do you feel like you're always on the verge of achieving your goals? You were almost granted the promotion. You came close to having an epiphany. You nearly saved the money. However, it was taken by an invisible entity just as you were about to grasp it. Isn't it frustrating? You notice those around you who do not engage in prayer or sacrifice in the same way as you. and they appear to be effortlessly accumulating wealth and happiness. A dark thought whispers to you in the quiet corners of your mind. It says, "Why are they, and not I, God? Am I being punished? Is it possible that I overlooked my window? This does not constitute a penalty. That's a breach." The book of Haggai, chapter 1, verse 6, provides a detailed description of your current situation. It says, "You have sown a lot, but you have only harvested a small amount. You eat too little food. You consume beverages, but they do not satisfy your needs. Nobody is comfortable, no matter how you dress. He who earns wages deposits them in a bag with openings." Pay close attention to the final phrase, which mentions a bag with holes. The Hebrew term for holes in the original text indicates a deliberate incision or perforation. In other words, your scarcity does not result from God's cessation of flow. It is raining. He's been spewing. The supply from heaven is not an issue. The problem is with the containers that exist on earth. You're collecting blessings in a punctured container. You are making a significant investment of time and effort. Praying is your activity. You're planting seeds. However, due to the compromised container, the anointing is extracted at the same rate that it is introduced. This is why you feel tired. Maintaining a specific quality of life requires 10 times the amount of effort because a seeping vessel must be replenished on a constant basis. You've been treating this like a supply issue, asking God for more money, vitality, and favor. However, God has indicated that He will be unable to provide any additional resources until the satchel is repaired. Right now, if I gave you $1 million in your current spiritual container, you'd lose it all to the same leak that squandered your most recent paycheck. Before the harvest is released, the opening must be sealed. This is the revelation that will shift your perspective. This breach does not happen on a consistent basis. It occurs at specific times when your spiritual defense is compromised. When you are completely armored, the enemy understands that he cannot penetrate your defenses. As a result, he anticipates the transition sites. He anticipates the beginning of the cycle. He awaits the first 72 hours of the month. For what reason? Because he is aware of a secret that many of the chosen people ignore. He understands that he can influence the outcome by compromising the beginning. If he is able to break into the bag on February 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, all of the resources you have accumulated for the rest of the month will be expelled through the same opening. This is why you often start the month with optimism and end it with disappointment. The sabotage happened within the first 3 days, and you were unaware of it. Now I understand your point of view. I understand you are thinking, "I'm experiencing a discharge." As a result, on February 1st, I plan to pray more fervently than ever before. I'm going to shout at the demon. I intend to read 10 chapters from the Bible. I intend to achieve this breakthrough solely through my own efforts. Only one halt was selected. That is the snare. That is the error that keeps you on the hamster wheel. In your opinion, the answer is intensity. You believe that increasing your volume or activity will help solve the problem. When prayer is not followed by proper protocol, it becomes incoherent. A hole cannot be shrieked closed. Shouting will not bring a breach to an end. If you try to combat this with sheer energy, you will exhaust yourself by February 4th, and the leak will persist. The solution does not require any additional tasks. The goal is to understand a specific ancient law of timing. It refers to following a principle established by God at the creation of the world. But It is a principle that governs the flow of blessings, the passage of time, and the protection of territory. It is known as the law of first fruits. And if you don't understand how to apply this law to February 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, you'll be wasting your valuable energy. Please allow me to demonstrate how to interrupt the cycle and eventually fill the container. To understand why you're pouring water into a vacuum, you must first examine the spiritual physics of time. The book of Romans, chapter 11, verse 16, contains a particular enigma. The entire batch is said to be sacred if the portion of the dough offered as the first fruit is holy. The branches are holy if the root is sacred. Listen to the logic of paradise at this location. Paul isn't just talking about plants and bread. He's discussing the transmission of sanctity. He argues that the quality of the beginning determines the quality of the conclusion. The branches are automatically sanctified if the root is correctly identified. If the root is corrupt, pruning the branches will not help to repair the tree. Implement this in your calendar year. February is represented by a tree. The root is the first 3 days of February, specifically the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. The branches make up the remaining 25 days. The majority of chosen individuals devote their entire lives to fighting within the branches. You are attempting to resolve your financial situation on the 15th, marital issues on the 20th, and achieve peace on the 28th. You are exhausted as a result of the strenuous task of pruning branches on a tree with an unhealthy root. God is instructing us to stop fighting in the branches and focus on the root cause. If you give me the first fruits and sanctify the first 72 hours, the rest of the month automatically becomes sacred. Something is considered sacred when it differs from other objects. It means that the adversary needs permission to interact with it. By securing the source, a spiritual fence is built around the whole month.